One comment. Good, all right. Welcome to the special city council meeting. And this is a pretty simple one. Do we have any public comments on that? It's on the agenda. It's just like so it's the new business license for Dollar General store 30869. So this is the same application we saw last week, except it's filled out this time.
You see one difference is it's a different owner issue. That's with DG Retail LLC. This one is Dolgen Corp. Or LLC. Same address.
What was it last week? DG.
DG Retail LLC.
Dollar General Corporation.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
She's in there.
Right. Here.
Was there a representative from Dollar General?
Not on the shows.
No, and there is not, and I know, you had not talked to her, but emailed her. So, yes,
Dollar General, like,
Dollar General,
yes, back and forth several times,
Yes.
yes, okay. So their district manager is on vacation until Friday, so they're not able to be here, but they brought back the application with the references back.
Is this the district manager, the signature here?
No, she's the gal with the licensing office.
With Stephanie Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other comments or questions about it?
Public or
Any of the council members?
I think it's a little disappointing that it's that people working all week didn't send a representative here. Getting disappointing. Just I still have the same questions I had since last week or 2 weeks ago.
About the street issue.
Oh, yeah, about that, the anticipating traffic, and I know you've had some concern about that. I also had some concern on that. And then you also brought up some issues.
Yeah, they all got a fire inspection and I know.
There's what?
A fire inspection. The state.
Which they still need to do.
Yeah, they should still need to do. Dawn was supposed to call me, the state fire marshal for our area. She was supposed to call me when she come in to go inspect that. I haven't ever gotten a call. So,
Well, they won't be able to operate with their beer and wine at least.
I went for
They gotta apply for beer and wine.
no,
Oh, right, like it's just.
No,
Well, that's kind of out of our hands, the state fire marshal. I think that's,
But you allow her to have a business license is pretty much giving them the right to go ahead and operate, correct?
not if they don't pass a fire inspection. I mean, that's not to do with us, that's a city issue.
They want the sign off on it, because for a commercial building, they
Right.
have building
Right,
now, of course.
not through us,
As I
Which is
understand,
not
they're
the
just
same
leasing
business.
this from Shorey DGL.
Right,
Yes.
right. Yeah,
And when I talked to the guy who was building it, when I had concerns about my house next door, I asked about their fire inspection, he said that was up to the next phase, which is the phase they're in right now. Because there's a whole bunch of occupancy. There's new rules in the state now, and it's anything over 99 has to have a spike or a sprinkler system, which we don't know what they are, what they're gonna put it at, so.
but yeah, that's a state issue. I don't know how to say that's a local issue. But the fire marshal and fire inspection and electrical and all that stuff, even their building licenses all state. But it's also, I mean, I don't think it'd be this entity that would even need the fire inspection, but I don't know exactly how they're structured, who's getting
Was this
Yeah.
gonna be operating the store?
the store, yeah. But not the building.
They are not the ones that own the building, did the building, did any of that issue stuff. It was this one is for inside the store,
Just.
and that's all they are
Buying,
responsible.
selling, so.
All these people are liable for some merchandise in the store that they're selling, is what they're saying, right?
Just the business that's operating out of that building. Right,
Which would have traffic to from that location.
And public inside.
right.
And nice if somebody would show up and would ask these questions, like,
Did they pull a sign from it? Because that's how that, their new rules now.
Those were not a business sign, that was on a billboard, wasn't it?
So Paul should have signed too.
Yeah,
It's
always like
It's just no one.
It was on billboards. Yeah, because we weren't putting limit on billboard, business signs, on the big signs. But on our one, before the meeting.
would be. TJ, are you on now? It says he's joined, but do you have it muted? Hang on. Because I thought I put it where he could edit it myself, so I have the hours. Sometimes actually.
Oh,
Hello.
Hello? Okay,
Can you
I
hear
think
me?
you're on now.
All right.
Can you guys hear him at all?
yeah, flat tops.
Sorry for joining late. Can you guys hear me?
Now, yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Did you have any comments on the Dollar General? Have you been hearing our conversation about it so far?
I came in a little bit, not all of it. So,
So there's still some question about, is this the entity responsible for like traffic and fire occupancy and fire safety, that type of thing? Do you know?
no, as far as I know, they are just operating the business. The land developer would have been responsible if we had any ordinances in place to widen the road or move a hydrant or anything like that.
Yeah, that's our problem too, is that we don't have that set in our ordinances to require street widening or anything like that to mitigate for customers. Unfortunately,
Yeah, well, it's something we're gonna have to look into, I guess, if this, more business are gonna town, they're start building out streets like this, they're gonna have to fix it prior.
right,
Right, I mean, we just didn't have anything in place to make them do that on this one. We thought they were gonna do that with courtesy and the fire hydrant and whatever else. Obviously, they chose not to. Right, I mean, what can we do about that? Honestly, can we do anything to that? Because that was not this business, and I know it's Dollar General, but these people, it's the contractor that built the building. Right?
it's the owner of the,
Yeah, well, only the contractor, so the contractor was his representative. When they come in and talk to us, right? And, right.
right, yeah,
If they're just building to lease it, I mean, there could be you know, maybe that building's just leased by 2 people and it's their office and it's not generating traffic to and
So
from.
I agree.
So I think it's a, you know, the use, you know, Dollar General, okay, you're gonna generate traffic, how much? 50 trips a day, 150, 200?
We know that. That's just it.
You know, I reached out to a traffic engineer, MDOT, this past week, just kind of asked their thoughts, you know, as far as, you know, how does that work as far as who could request it? Because obviously that's the state, right? Which is where the pinnacle is, right? And then extending out to the city street.
Yeah,
You know, her first question is, well, where are their
What are their
turning movements? So basically having had the engineer figure out, okay, based on, you know, the situation on the ground, okay, the measurements curb to curb and you know, you know, there's the extra lanes there, the right of way, you know, okay, how much turning radius is it sufficient? But so I don't know, haven't seen it yet. Yes, so I think what worries me is, okay, if, you know, it's, you know, fire chief saying they've got concerns over it, if we just say, well, let's just move forward with it anyways. And then something happens, I don't want to remember back to now and be like, dang, remember that, just disregard it, what's the point of that? You know, the MCA, Title 7, Chapter 21, Part 41, 2 says the council may refuse to issue licenses when it may deem it best for the public interests. And so I think there is.
What's the definition of public interest? Jesse, what's the legal definition of a public interest?
Well, I don't know if they have find that here, but I certainly think public safety would be number one on that list. And I'm not saying I'm against Dollar General, I think it's great that they're investing here and will provide jobs, I think that's great. And I guess the question I have, council, you all being a lot more experienced on Councilman I, have you ever issued a conditional building permit here?
not since I've been here.
Remembering
Conditional building or conditional?
Conditional.
a business.
Business license, correct, yeah, license. Certainly, I think something warrants a little bit more to look at, and maybe, you know, maybe it's fine, but, I know when I make that turn, you know, if I'm in my plow truck, there's another big trucks in there. I don't know if you make that turn, and I think my sense hanging on to the highway. But you never know until there's an issue, you know, I just always feel public safety, I like to err on the side of, let's avoid that situation. You know, let's take a look at it. You know, but anyways, that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. I agree, but I don't know if we have any legal like this going on in there to just file a lawsuit or something against us for delaying their.
Well, MC's
Right.
another one, so. If we have concerns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what public interest is either. I agree. It seems like it would be public safety, but I don't know. It seems like a kind of fuzzy language thing.
You know, 6 months from now, there's a fender bender there, so that was a problem. But who fronts the bill then? You know, do these licenses, they get renewed every year? Is there a review on that, or is it just an automatic renewal?
I think it's just automatic, most understand, you know, once they get them, they can just keep paying their time, I can believe.
We can. On that, the business licenses are reviewed by, they're just,
Once they get them, they
it's
can-
automatic renewal,
Yeah.
right? Yes.
Well, is there any way we could put a stipulation on this, that they have to conform with something like that, or look into it or something, we don't know the answer, I'm just asking a question.
Seems like conditional, subject to re-review in a year,
Oh,
you know, subject
yeah, because
to.
in the beginning, I know, we were just saying, we all had a list that we. Dusty would like some stuff, we all like stuff done, we can jump off it on that one, I know Jack for job. You ain't gonna pull in there if somebody's there, but it's just. It's a tough situation, but I think if we really keep hassling them, then next thing you know, we're gonna end up suing the city and we're gonna be removed. over something silly that we gave them, I don't, okay, not silly, I apologize on that. An accident was not silly. Somebody getting ran over on that corner, a kid standing on the corner, somebody takes it down, runs them over, that's a terrible accident, right? Well, we all gotta adjust to that corner until the state deems it wrong, no, it's not, no, I can't really tell them to do anything about it, it's sad part. That was up on Sunrise Sunset, we could have had them do the thing, but off the highway, we don't have any leg to stand on it. That's a state thing, right? Isn't it? Yeah, it's not ours, it's a state, that's the sad part, otherwise, we'd have tore the damn thing out and made a corner, we could have tore a semi around it. But they wouldn't let us do that, I mean, right?
When we brought it up, because we had concerns for the fire department and a concern of being a resident over there. They told us that they were approved through the state.
It's gonna turn out, the state's approved that road.
And but we don't know. You know, we were told we were getting a hydrant and we don't have a hydrant. So we don't know who's right and who's wrong. There's been 2 mayors involved in this now, you know, so. You know,
I think if there's any way we could issue this permit, and get 1 year time to run a sewer and state, however they put their little numbers up there and count on them. You know, and see how many people go in business, it's like say if you're getting 200 cars there a day, that's a pretty busy intersection, probably the busiest one in town.
yeah, we're about.
Okay, so I got 2 questions. The hydrant's an issue. That's still an issue, is that correct?
Yes, it is still an issue, yes.
Okay, so I think Ward's in the meeting.
Yeah, we're too.
Do we have anything in our ordinances that say a business has to redo a hydrant or a residence or anything else for fire protection?
I don't have those figures, I don't know, I really couldn't say.
Okay,
I know
because
that-
this wasn't a question when Town Pump put their hydrant in. And if the hydrant is gonna be a hangup on this business license approved, and we have no provision in any ordinance or building code to force that business to move that, then it's a city's responsibility to move it. And we have to find the budget of probably, I don't know, $20,000-$30,000 to move that. What budget's that going to come out of, council?
I think that's what it came down to, it's just.
We're hoping what?
Yeah, because it was something we asked them to do, and I think at first they were kind of playing nice on it, but then after a while they said, well, let's split the cost or something.
Right.
You guys just do it, and it's your water system. And T did, right, the water budget's not there, where are they gonna come from?
Okay, so that is true. They wanted to split the cost. We do not have the money to split the cost in our water budget. The fire department, I'm gonna say, does not have the money to split the cost or contribute to moving that hydrant. Is there any argument there?
No, we have to come up.
There's, okay, so we can't. I'm sorry, Jamie, what's that?
I was saying that's why it would have been better to have been a stipulation in the beginning instead of please do this. Cause now here we are in this situation where it was asked and they said, oh, sure, we'll do it. And now it's come down to they're not going to. And because we didn't say, you need to do this beforehand, we can't force them out of the fact. It was, hey, please do this, instead of saying, okay, sure, you're welcome to come into town, but you need to do this. The fire department is requesting this for public safety. But it was just brushed off and, you know, please do it for us.
You said something about it in the future.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we have to do. Because I don't think, if we start shutting down things over high, there's a high there. Why you guys are like on fire? I mean, we don't want to go buy a place that's burning till we're gonna hold it to come back.
Yeah, no,
That's not what we're out. Right, I mean, let's be honest, we all wanna cook it up right there, put the fire out, if there's ever a fire, your house, my house, anybody's house, we don't wanna fire. But right now, we just don't have the money to put the dang thing in.
and we're not here bitching about it,
Oh, I understand.
but we are here for this, but for the future,
Well, I agree, we need to read the ordinance.
Here, it is also our obligation as officers, your obligation, the city council, the mayor. Is to improve our area. That's what we want new companies to come in, they need to help improve that by creating, by redoing our help redoing our roads. It's not on the city, it's not on the fire.
We need to do due diligence and make ordinances so that happens.
That's exactly what I'm saying right now.
That's what we need to hear on the, we need to say, the ordinances. That's okay. I agree, should look, not that you just permit in my eyes and just move forward. And make ordinances, so the next person that comes in, and we don't wanna stop businesses from coming to our town, by no means.
No.
But we wanted to do the right thing for our town, and make that corner safe, make hydrant safe, right? I mean. For all of us, none of us want anybody to get hurt, by no means, that ain't even what anybody's saying. But on the other hand, we need to have ordinances say, before they do it, we sign to say, okay, this has to be done, A, B, and C, before you get this. Right? That's what needs to happen. We need to look into the future. The fence is already biased. We can't do nothing about this. This is in black. In my,
But
but we,
the concern,
we do something about it.
the concern that we have right now is that we do not know if that fire. Inspection has been done. You guys are going to, and TJ, just hear me out on this. We don't know if the state has come in and done the fire inspection because. The last company that was here building the building said it was up to the company who's moving in. So here we are right now with the company that is moving in. We do not know if fire inspection has been done on the building yet. They have that building full of stuff right now
Actually,
with no fire inspection done, with no, we don't.
well, we don't know. Yeah, that's right.
But she would want to contact you guys, you guys know her,
I understand.
so. And when are they, I've heard rumors they're gonna open the ninth. So we're gonna allow them to open the doors. Let the public in without fire inspection, that is what that's our concern.
Yeah. Well, so what they have like a week legally, because they're supposed to open next Monday. Yeah, the 10:30 was already, or what they're saying, yeah. So that would be next, oh, sure,
Inspections are not something we audit, not something we require. We didn't ask True Value, we didn't ask First Montana Bank. We don't ask businesses to prove that to us. Again, if we want to do that, if we want to put that in as a stipulation, we need to write that into a license. We can't say you can't have a business license because we haven't seen proof that we don't require.
So can the state hold you guys liable if the fire inspection has not been done, and you guys are.
It's their business. Well,
So the state's taking liability.
until our. Operating out of the ambulance barn until we have a state fire.
Yeah, Dawn will come down and do it, state's liable, so she had like this week to get it done, is what it sounds like.
Or they can't function,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's not up to us.
yeah. And like I say, I think we just need to get some tougher guidelines. In black and white, this, and this, so we can't say, just like you said, we can't. Oh, buddy, no, pal, would you please put a hydrant in for me, maybe widen the road, sure, let me build my building and pretty soon piss on you.
What happens, you know,
That's because we don't have much, we need more. So now we need to look to the future and get some of these ordinances, so we have something to stand on. Right, don't you think? I mean,
what you're saying.
right? Yeah. So I think that's what we just need to move forward towards this. And as for right now, I don't think there's any way we should stop this, in my opinion. You know, I think this needs to go through this a bit. Then Dawn, excuse me, state fire marshal, whatever you want to call her. It's her obligation this week to get that ran and have us come over, mark through it and give her, see what we think of it. I don't believe in the building, you've been in the building, not one of us here have. You know, oh, you have? So, you know,
That's right.
live right now, sir.
Johnny on his thumb.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not, that's one of the toughest ones from a school bus to come on that I. You got somebody coming down the hill, 9 out of 10 times they'll stop and you make the corner, I mean, not one of us are gonna make that corner with you. Ain't gonna happen.
But that's been an ongoing problem.
Oh, for goodness, since I. Yeah,
Or semis that come and deliver to, is it Iron Creek, used to be what Odie's used to be.
yeah. Like I say, I think we just need to look to the future and get some tough, or not tough, but get some more so we have somewhere to stand. So we can say, this needs to happen before this happens. See, now, pretty soon we're sitting back here going, well, dang, I wish we'd had this, this, and this. Now, if we hold them liable, it's a thing, and it's the state for the highway, it's for the state for the fire. We're just, we're city people with obviously no leg to stand on because we don't have any ordinances.
You know, if anybody's seen, the pulling trucks in downtown, right?
Yeah,
No, we want the highway,
they did the other day, the truck was lost, I had to show them go,
all you can come by your house.
yeah, 3 in the morning.
Well,
So on by 5:30, there's a semi, it was happening.
He was sitting in the, finding all night.
Okay, so it's, to me, it looks like the only way you do that is take twilight, make sure when the sunrise is back in there.
He was able to loop it around, every time we were doing it there. Oh, and then be back there last night and just ran his truck over.
pretty far.
Went on, soul driving, and just like so, it's still. Should be island next to the houses in there.
Noise ordinance doesn't matter.
So.
So I guess a couple things, I just, again, if you guys correct me, because I'm already, on council. And so refusal to issue, this states that power resides with the mayor. So I think that's, but it's not basically in his or her judgment, issuance would be liable for provoking breach of peace or maybe detriment to public safety. Also just going through here, and again, you'll find it very much into the details of the law. We're going to talk about that. It says application of renewal license shall be made in the same manner as application for the original license. So if I read that, it seems that absolutely a person would have to come back, or technically come back to the council every year. Right? Maybe that's not how it happens, but just reading that, it seems that perhaps we could condition it as such that, I don't think that's a brainer.
Business licenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not just get down after they got it?
But there's generally probably not many questions on a lot, for most of them. And so, and then, furthermore, council may notify, he's writing the applicant to appear before the council for the purposes of inquiry into the facts. And I guess that would, I don't know if they were notified of council had questions.
But we always tell them that we like them to come to the meeting, just to do a like meet and greet type thing with the council and the mayor if they can't make it, to try and get in contact with the mayor. And I know she has told me she's been trying to get someone here for her. She knew she couldn't. She told me after the last meeting in February that she unfortunately wasn't able to get anybody here, and asked when the next meeting was. I told her the next regular council meeting was on 17th of March. And then Cheryl contacted her to let her know that she did want to this special meeting, so she was trying to get somebody here. But wasn't able to.
I did not get a hold of her today, so was not able to. But Shara, you did talk to her?
Just by email.
Okay. So more contact with this business owner than some of the previous ones through email?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the council want to do?
The council make a conditional approval subject to renewal to the council with representative in person in 1 year's time. So then if in a year there are issues, there's been issues, okay, well then we have an opportunity to deal with that. Otherwise, we just sign off on it, it's a problem, and I guess that's up to the taxpayer.
You're not putting in the states. What's going on?
So we need to, if we're gonna do a conditional approval, we have to state something a little more rigorous than what that MCA on public interest is, in my opinion, of why we're doing a conditional approval when we've never issued one before.
TJ, I agree, that would be my concern, is that we've never done that before. And we don't have any ordinances, anything hard. Rules, laws, anything within the city to say, here's why. I mean, I know what you're saying, Jesse, with the public interest. But we've never done that before. We don't have a building inspector within the city. We have to rely on the state. It sounds like we have to rely on the state for the fire inspections. Okay, commercial, okay. So yes, so again, the building inspection, commercial wise, we don't have anybody. So we have to rely on the state. We have to rely on it.
Well, just be saying is that we follow what our city ordinance states, which is that
And is that an ordinance or the MCA?
this is
This is the city
city
code.
ordinance.
The city.
Yeah, the city ordinance says that annual renewals are handled in the same manner as the original one. All he's saying is, why don't we just handle the renewal as though the original one saying you need to have somebody here so that we can voice concerns, you can go over if there's any issues and then address them going forward. It's a city ordinance, so it's not like we're recreating the wheel. It's already an ordinance that's in place. It's just if in a year there's been issues, if there hasn't been, a single issue in a year, then I would say that there's no right to have them come in and do any kind of renewal process, but if there has been an issue, that ordinance gives us a way to have a conversation with. It's our own ordinance, it's not an MCA.
So what's gonna be our guideline for an issue? Is it someone's opinion of what an issue is gonna be? Is it gonna be that, what kind of data what data point are we gonna use for what an issue is? To call this a conditional. If we're gonna put stipulations on it, we need to have, okay, maybe in a year, what if we have an issue? We're gonna call these people back in. In my opinion, if we're going to do a conditional, we need to state why we gave a conditional with a valid reason of possible issues, of what those issues are going to be, backed up by what we have in building codes, ordinances, and so on.
It's not a conditional permit. It's just following what our ordinance states. It's a 1-year permit in a year's time. We just request them to come in and review as our ordinance states. It's not a conditional permit. It's a normal permit. And instead of renewing the business license, we're just requesting them to come back in for renewal as the ordinance states. There's nothing in that ordinance that says, oh, it's just that there's an issue coming up. As that ordinance reads, every business license renewal is supposed to be handled in the original manner, which is coming in for the council.
So we're going to start holding the Dollar General accountable for this when we've never done it in the past.
No.
So he's done it past through.
Then there's no reason to even worry about it. If there's, a whole grid of traffic accidents at that corner because it's a bad intersection, then that gives us some time to contact the state and, look at other avenues that we need to explore.
So we've had 3 accidents at the Iron Creek Cantina. Are we going to do that for theirs next year too? Say, sorry, you can't renew until you come in and talk to the council?
The traffic study was done there and the painting is supposed to be done for no purpose here to address that issue. It doesn't matter either way. I don't care how it's voted. I'm not voting on the issue anyway, so carry on.
So it also states in here that the mayor has the right to revoke any license issued under the provisions of this chapter. And again, coming back to this, if it's deemed that it's detrimental, issuance of the license is detrimental to public health and safety.
So that, right, regardless.
So I think that still provides that, okay, in 2 weeks, there's maybe countermeasure there,
Right.
the mayor can say, yeah, well,
All we need to do is the study, right, you know.
Yeah, the state needs to
Should
do
use
traffic.
enough study on it. Yeah, because that's no right. They should do another study there, so then canteen, see the traffic flow, accidents, they got down that.
But we can't have the traffic study until the traffic is
Until
there.
something happens, that's right.
Oh, no,
That's the one, until the traffic happens.
Businesses and operation. So, I mean, yeah, that's. But if there is a problem, I mean, if you can get the state to do a traffic study and it, you know, shows a drastic increase in the safety issue.
Who would take a couple of actions at the canteen, and then we had them do a traffic study and plan for it, and they did one, because the canteen had them on your accident.
The traffic study was not for the canteen.
right, it was already
The traffic study was done for Odie's
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
and held over.
oh, it's just something rolled over from the.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say we should approve the license and
Should feel like.
get the state to do a traffic study.
Is there a cost for the state to do that?
No, okay, because yes, they're. Their issue,
I just-
not ours. Yeah.
yeah, they recently did one with the Savage Lake.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the that goes, they got moved up a schedule and then there's been all the way that goes from 45 mile an hour.
Yeah, and I think that was probably concern, like, and one question Candace too, so like, supportive of that, so.
No,
So perhaps at a minimum, at some point, we use this as an opportunity to.
so you move or get some models, get some stuff for us to have a leg to stand on. I agree. This is a learning curve for us. Let's not make this happen again.
So I think that at least gives, you know, weight to hear word, represent the public, we have some public health, safety officers here with concerns. That at least provide some overview to mentors. It can be better if moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So Shauna, can you recap that for me, please? Jesse was a little gargled there.
Jesse, can you recap it?
Yeah, TJ, I was just saying, you know, that at minimum, it seems like a good opportunity to, you know, take these concerns and look at, you know, revising the city code to, you know, make a little more robust process in which concerns like this can be better identified and conditioned with revising in the future.
Okay. And that was going to be my plan on next month's work meeting is to start a committee to revise our building codes. Shauna knows as well as I do, just with the history, we've talked about this going all the way back to Dallas and we've never acted on it. And we need to do it. There's other issues that we have that are finally catching up with us with contractors coming in and not finishing work up, these issues and everything, possible upcoming subdivisions that we probably need to address, setbacks, stormwater stuff, some, you know, getting some people in that have some engineering and building experience that can give us some good relatable things that we can hold companies and residential construction to. No. I did talk to Ward last Monday about that a little bit down in our meeting. And we want to do a traffic study this summer, I do believe, request one from the state. So are we good with doing an approval with them? And I'll ask for a motion to approve the Dollar General's business license. I can't remember what the business name is. Only got one screen here.
So Dollar General store, pretty basically.
Going general store.
So I'll ask for a motion to approve the Dollar General store number 30869.
I'll make a motion to approve the business license for the Dollar General store, 30869.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? I can see Shauna.
Donna, Scott, and Jesse.
So I'm sorry, Scott, Jesse, and Shauna.
Yes.
And okay. All opposed? Or are you abstaining from the vote, Jamie? I can't see you.
Jamie is abstaining.
Okay. So Dollar General motion passed. Do I have any public comments on matters not on the agenda?
It's a city ordinance trump MCA.
No.
We can do more, but not less. Like more restricted, but not less restricted.
And then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
All.
Meeting adjourned. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will move into the city council work meeting for today, March 3rd. And start off with public comments for matters on the agenda.
It's like there aren't any, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
So moving on to the second agenda item, consolidation of the city and rural fire departments. There's been a little bit of talk about the combining the city and the rural fire departments. For those of you guys don't know, they're two separate entities. One's for inside the city, one's for the rural. The rural does have a taxing district for their funding and their budget. And then, as you know, the city department is funded through the general fund. Generally saying the fire department runs very smoothly just because of the nature of the guys down there. They do a great job of mutual aid. If they need anything from the city or vice versa, it's always kind of a back and forth of being able to help out and everything. But it's to the point to where if they can, and I'll let Dusty talk a little bit more about this, is if we can consolidate the department, it would be under one taxing district for the city and the rural, to where there's only one budget and then there's not a city or a rural department. I did ask when this was brought up to get some more information about this. We need to find out because it is city property. The fire trucks, turnout gear, such and such, stuff like that. So there are some logistics that we do need to find out some more information on, but I'll let Dusty or Blair kind of talk a little bit more about that for a couple minutes. So
What I got going on is I got a name for you for an insurance guy that's actually a mayor of his town. That they're involved in this quite a few times. I'll text it to you to talk to the gentleman. He's a real good source. But the problem we got is if we go for grants, because we don't have an actual tax in the city limits, when we go for grants, we gotta put the income or revenue as the general funds revenue. Even though we don't see any part of that, we can't, and then.
No, we're up here, we're down here.
Yeah, and then if the city's trying for a grant on federal. We can throw off your guys' grant for anything else, or you have to throw off one of ours, because you can't apply at the same time. I mean, that's one of the big things that would help us out. Budget. Fire department, to have one budget, it's not this 50-50, or this was the rules bill, this is the city's bill. It gets really confusing on how to make all that work out. We do the best we can, but it's real tough. And also, in the end of it, we would probably end up making more as for the city on the fire department, we get more out of the taxes than we do on what we get out of the general fund. It's also better. We better our department in the same process.
Without being burned.
Yes.
There's something all of our taxes that go to fire department can come back in our general. For this.
Yes, right now we just operate on general.
Yeah.
So whenever you guys can give the time, it's what we get. So unfortunately, we're gonna have, this goes back to the public. You guys have to make the motion, you guys have to vote to go in there, that's fine, but you guys might be hated, you guys might be okay, but because at the end of it, the residents are gonna get taxes, you got to think about that, so it's true. It's gonna be hard. We're gonna have that public hearings, we're gonna have to explain to them why. And hopefully you guys can be there in the back to help explain why. It's not that we're trying to get rich, that's not it. But it's our job.
Can you go help do this and go in your house, your property value, or how tax rates
So
go?
like let's just use my parents, for example, $2,300, they would tax $96 for their fire tax. That's just an example, they live in the rural. So, there are some MCNs, if you guys wanna look at them, I'll give this to you guys, but we are a class 3 city, correct? Because we're over 500, but we're under 1,000.
Yeah.
So we don't really fall under the 7-334115, that's more for a second class city. Which we would, it pretty much works out the same, we fall under the 2125. So you, according to this, when you guys look at it, 4A is that you guys approve this, you need the public hearings. And then it's just like how the rural gets annexed in 40% of the landowner that would agree to come in. That's how it reads. I'll give this to you guys can give it to Sharon.
100% of global half.
It's not how to be a vote, this is what I don't. Because that's the only thing, if this thing goes to vote. I don't think, because I don't think it does go to vote. Is everything in here, the word shall is never used in here. It says may, if that's under the 4115. The 2125 states it gets treated like a annexation of like the rural, where they're gonna get a potential of 40% that are in favor of it to come into that district.
Okay,
So, but I'll let you guys look at this. I've reached out to Dan at MSU, but they're visiting local government.
yeah,
I reached out to Sheridan, Ritchie. Soto have all done this already. And the mayor, she is also in the fire department. Her husband both are, so they should have been part of this. So I'm trying to get some info from her, but she wasn't available last 2 days I called, so. But.
Whatever cities you say,
It is Sheridan, Ritchie, I never heard of Ritchie before.
which levels have that,
So, that's the four that Chris gave us, that's our insurance guy. Who has been involved in this, as far as. I hope that TJ will reach out to him, as far as like the city assets, he goes. That's the easiest thing, this whole process, is just pretty much just writing it over,
You just deed it over.
yeah. That's something that you guys have to, do, but.
Yeah, at the end, it's still taxpayer money you bought,
yes.
regardless, it's still Troy taxpayer money, so I don't think, it's not like it's.
And our big push for this is we all know that, like you said, we work off in general fund. And then, if I know this is being recorded, anybody watching this, please go back to from July until January. Look at all the special meetings for the budget, see what we had to go through to get what we have, you know, we had to add a little bit more this year. And then we were gonna get it. The negotiations come up, hey, and like the mayor said, like TJ said, we are one catastrophe away from being hurt, so. That should be in the water system, we could lose the fire truck.
Yes.
And then where we get the money for that, so. We need 2 year moments.
We see it bigger than that.
Make it bigger.
But really, like from the financial standpoint, the amount that is in the fire budget is really, if it's not coming out of the general budget anymore, would be what is needed for your budget, for the fourth officer, that difference. You know, yeah, comparing dollar for dollar, it's like, oh, there we go, there's the deficit that we're looking for going forward.
Right.
So then the fire department will be on its own?
Yes.
Disconnected from the rural
Yeah, that's what you're saying, but.
Yeah, fire manager, like me and board, board now, we got a real board.
Yeah.
So that board would just oversee us, and then that would allow when there's elections for the board, that city. The residents of the city would have the opportunity to be on that with free. So, city of Troy Fire, Troy Rural Fire District, just simple, the name would change to like the Troy Fire District, and we would become one. You know, there's no more 50-50. Cause we all know how hard it is, make sure the address is right on the paperwork for Paula, for Arcade, who's paying this, who's paying, it'd just be so much easier for the chief, for budget time. For all the financial stuff and for the future of our department, I mean, I think it'll be, like he said, but grants that we're gonna interfere with each other. I mean, we're first, yeah, I mean.
Hey, Blair,
Yeah,
can you get a list of the towns that did that? I know you named a couple of them off and the points of contact. And,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna-
also your insurance, the guy you guys been talking about the insurance.
I'm reaching out to the cities and Chris, the insurance guy. He's reaching out to the fire chiefs that were involved, so we can get a hold of them for you also.
Okay,
And DJ said he'll text you Chris's number, who is the guy who is currently a mayor. His last day is tomorrow, and he's moving. But he is the one that's been involved in these before. And he said.
And then what- okay. One other question I had. So if this goes through and you create one Troy Fire District,
Yes,
who's the authoritative body that district reports to ultimately, or is it just completely independent on its own?
it becomes.
Troy Rural Fire District.
So it would roll up under the rural side of
Yes,
Montana State.
yes,
Okay.
because it's just like Ennis is now all Madison County Fire.
Okay.
So we would just, it all goes to the Troy Rural Board, the Troy Rural Fire District Board would oversee the department. The funds go to the county disperses it through them, ultimately. The commissioners are oversee that,
Yes.
so.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was clear because,
Oh, yeah, I get it.
if something happened, there's an authoritative board over that to be able to step in, and not saying that it is, but there's somebody that can,
All the commissioners are on, for everything.
yeah. There's an accountability, so checks and balances. Mhm. So we need to, there's a lot of information here that we got to process, we got to figure out. And, we need to keep plugging away on this because you guys want to do this relatively soon, which would be good to do, hopefully. I don't think it's going to be an overnight thing. But yeah, we'll keep moving forward, exploring the idea of it.
So, see, I think.
What's that, Blair?
One of the concerns like the rural board had and we have too is that in that transitional period, if it does go through, we're gonna be short that money. So we would have to fight, in part of the agreement, it would be like when you guys cover the overhead part, obviously not training stuff, do something like that. You would still need that last year's worth of income to come in.
We're gonna still be doing a budget in July, is what it's turning into.
If you
July's coming quick.
Kind of sounds like you guys need to start having a cookie sale.
Girl Scout.
Well, that's the way to go. Not like that, sir.
No,
Fireman.
and does everybody understand what Blair and Dusty's talking about?
Sorry, what?
Does everybody understand that, if we do it this year, we would still like for 2025, if this goes through, they wouldn't start receiving tax funds till 2027. So we would have to carry that cost through 2026.
That's how long it takes.
Does that make sense?
I don't think it takes quite that long, TJ, but maybe. But I think if this got all voted in, it'd be like the next fiscal year. Yeah, the next tax roll, I would assume, but I haven't
Yeah.
had talk. Commissioners on that, so I don't think it's stretched over, it's 27, it'd probably be 26.
Yeah, or something like that, right? I'm just throwing that out there as an example of how so.
A lot of questions.
I mean, this is gonna take a lot of public comment, or the public even feels comfortable with it, I understand that. So we're gonna have some open houses down at Fire Hall to try to explain this to the public and all that good stuff too. Yeah.
So is this something we put on this month to initiate the process?
I'm sorry, what's that, Shauna?
Is this something we vote on this month to initiate the annexation process?
No, I think we need to figure out a lot more information. We need to figure out how to transfer property assets. We need to, talk to MMIA about this. We need to talk to Chris. We need to, it has to make sense on both sides, in my opinion. Just spitballing and just thinking it through. Yeah, it does seem like a great idea, but we need to know on the back end whether we can just, hey, we're giving engine one to the new fire district. Can we actually give away property like that? Or how do we do that to where we do it legally as a city entity? Like the property that the fire hall sits on is city property. How do we lease that, for $1 for a year or whatever? How does that work out to where we do this correctly? And that's what we have to do to make sense.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, there's a lot of questions gotta be answered. I just want to bring it up to council to get this started. I'm gonna see kind of what we're trying to do.
Yes. Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll put this on a kind of a revolving work meeting item for new information throughout the work meetings, but we won't vote to move forward until we have a good feeling that we have all the information we need. All right. Moving on to item number 3, citizen complaint about RV parking living within city limits. We did get a walk-in complaint about an RV down by the Lake Creek Inn. We had a picture of it, and the RV is on private property. Travis, I do believe, went down and looked at it, and doesn't appear that anyone is living there. The person that owns that RV bought the residence that's between Shoe Fly and Levi Trailer Park. Is that correct, Travis?
She's every morning, she fired from the top of that place, so I think someone's got item.
I think so too. And I think I saw that. I haven't stopped to make contact with those people yet, but I think I saw some smoke coming out. The deal there. So that's why we were talking the other day. was asking how long can somebody stay in a camper or an RV. Be more than happy to come down here and we're talking about 30 days and stuff, so, I need to go, make contact with them and see what the deal is, if they're just staying there for a couple weeks and moving on, or if they're living there.
From the Yak campground, they got dismissed from there, and then these people all moved from the Yak Highway to that house, because that lady who lived there moved away, and so some people rented that house. They befriended these people at the campground, they invited them to live in the driveway there, because they couldn't stay up here anymore.
So that's the one that's at the Yak campground, everybody was talking about.
Yeah, so there's two campers, one camper still at the Yak camp. Well, that one out. Wow, you're small. Remember the old one that stopped on the highway out there, that's what goes to that camper.
Yeah.
Okay. The one that's set up and pull out there.
Yeah. That is. So I know they're residing in it, TJ, and they've been there maybe 3 weeks now, maybe, it hasn't been quite a long time, it's been a little while though, time was quick. But they're in there I see a fire every morning, I'm going to work about 5, so I know they're staying there. But I think you need to probably stop by and.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
Good.
Okay, so Travis is gonna follow up on that?
Yep, tomorrow, we'll stop in there tomorrow.
Alright. Thank you, Travis.
Good.
Moving on to park fees.
Okay, so the question is, mostly for like the chamber, we've got whole. Yeah, all of the paperwork goes back, the chamber got 4 different events this summer scheduled there. They're wanting to book the entire park. And we just wanna make sure that I'm charging them according to what you all would like to have the chamber charge. The current park policy and fees is there. It is dated 2009. And what it looks like is that per event, it would be $250. We've got several 3-day events, we've got a 4-day event. I just want to verify, because the 4th of July is here too.
So basically, that's
Sure.
right.
Yes, sir.
Sure, what have we done in the past years on the 4th of July event for the chamber?
Nothing ever since I've been here. I don't think anything ever has been charged. They don't, no.
Hey TJ, it's Mike Legit. The company heard myself speak again. I was just mentioning something, your chair did bring it to my attention because I just wanted to check out, because the fees of in reality really boils down to if the events are making money, I have no problem paying that money whatsoever. I mean, that's the whole thing. And also because you always have to jump through the hoops too, making sure that you get insurance. Or insurance, I looked at for these 4 events, it's gonna cost us $2,400
For all 4.
for all 4 events, which isn't bad. And that's the $2 million bond for everything. Of course, then we start throwing in our porta potties, and we're getting more porta potties and stuff. And we really don't know where this is gonna go. Now, I have high hopes and high intentions that this is gonna take off. And this is gonna bring the community, money. It's also gonna bring the community probably some headaches. I understand that. There's no doubt the more people get in there. I think the chamber plans on handling it not like Happy Inn handles it, where it's gonna be a drunk fest, a free for all. It's more of let's provide something different for our community and also entertain at the same time. We will have a beer garden there. Everybody will follow the license and make sure everything's posted, the whole 9 yards. Same thing with food gardens, we're actually opening this up for the food vendors and craft vendors to be decked out. And matter of fact, we're trying to push it at that is like 1-day festival event type of thing where we don't want to take over the whole town for the whole weekend, but we just want to have that 1 day where basically everybody comes out, has a good time, spends their money, and then leaves. My only concern is that everything that we're doing right now is all sponsorship funded. There's no money set up aside for this, and we really haven't had any sponsorships. We do have some money left over that we received from the canister, or actually from the stage and stuff that was put aside. Our first event after the 4th of July is the local. And I'll show you all guys and bring all the stuff, information stuff, but that's gonna be basically the fundraiser for the next 2 events, which is gonna be a bluegrass event, and the other one's gonna be classic rock and blues festival. Which is once again, all one day, so when I say festival, it's just a 1 day thing where everybody comes to go, basically. So the money in the locals is hopefully gonna be raising the money to make it happen. See, we won't know anything happens to that point, but like I said, our little backup fund is that we have the money that we didn't have to buy the storage unit for to store the stage, because we took everything out of that one that we already owned and put it over into storage and made it so we have a place. So it gave us an extra almost $5,000 extra. We've had a donation for a couple $1,000s for the sound system, which I don't know, apply for sounds first year, or maybe see what we do the second year. So I cut myself short, I won't keep rambling on. The whole thing is, it's kind of all based off this first year. So I guess I would be asking the council to take into consideration that maybe just the first year to figure out and find out what's going to happen and see if it works. Because to pay $1,000 out is basically like paying one of the bands, because both bands are between $1,200 to $2,500 to pay. Once again, there's no money that's sitting in the fund right now, other than we have set aside. And I think I have enough money set aside to pay for all the band stuff. Now, that's also gonna include, like I said, the beer garden, all the stuff that comes along with that. Every year, the money that makes for the 4th of July goes directly back into the 4th of July. There's nothing left over. We're sitting at about $18,000 to $19,000 every year.
Okay.
So
I'll jump in here, Mike.
This money will be help funding too, so if the 4th of July does need money, that's what it's going to do. And after 2-3 years, the money will go back into the community if it continues to grow. Okay?
Okay. So I know in the past, like Shara said, we haven't ever charged you guys for the use of the park during the 4th of July, which I don't have any issue with. And just look for a kind of the same verbal commitment from the council. Does anyone have any issues with that? No. Jesse, Scott, I can't see you. The camera's moving towards Paul.
No problem, Sheriff.
Okay. And your first event,
Jesse,
I'm sorry, what's that, Jesse?
Jesse has a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'd just love to hear from you. Just wondering, maintenance out of work, you can see any issues with having awareness like this.
There's usually a sprinkler head or two.
Yeah, that's typical for any kind of airline, a little bit of wear chair, but I think the fee is kind of a little bit of a deposit to kind of aid with some of that too, if there is less sprinkler or the sprinkler control box, if it busted, or 1 year we've had somebody who painted the control boxes orange so people wouldn't drive over them. Well, the vendor drove over it, he less than $2. They're like $200 a piece. So it does kind of offset some of that. And
I was just saying, just so that we do have signed applications for all those fees. So, and I would say we didn't catch the person at the time, but if we could have caught the person, we actually saw somebody saw it. They are actually liable for anything that is broken in any states, anything that happens like that. And it's stipulated right up front on the application when you fill it out that you are responsible for anything that you break while you're at the park. And we would follow up with that. I mean, if I would see any of that happen, stuff like that, at the time I know what happened. Of course, this was my first year coming in last year, being halfway, right at the time. So I was just getting the rope of things. Now it's a little bit prevalent, but still, a lot to learn.
yeah,
I think that's fair to ask that if you guys do damage anything, that it is, ultimately not our responsibility to chase the vendor down. It's your guys' responsibility to chase that vendor down and recoup the cost of that repair. And if you can't, then it falls upon the chamber to pay for the cost of that repair.
Totally agree.
Mike?
Totally
Okay.
agree.
And then your first event is in July after the 4th, I think I heard you say.
July 12th would be the local, which is all local bands.
Mike, you know, instead of just saying, hey, let's just, you know, do away with all the park fees this year, let's see how your first one goes and then revisit the next two that we have. Um,
After that, that's good. I mean, the money's there. I really don't have a problem. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's a good, it looks to that, so if it's there, I mean, I feel that we should actually pay the fee of policy. Because it is an event, the town is separate from the event, but what we are doing the event, believe me, this isn't, I'm not doing this from the sell. And we're doing it for the town and the townspeople and also the businesses here. Cause it's a pain in the ass, let's be honest. There's no, all the volunteering, setting up and all the stuff has to be done. But on the other hand, it also could be like the 4th of July. If it turns out as good as the 4th of July has been in the past 100 years, there's gonna be a lot of income coming back into the community with this, but that's to be, seen, so. Yeah.
and the reason I'm asking this, Mike, is completely understand that this is, you know, to raise money for the chamber for future 4th of July's. It gives a big boost to our economy for the city, but it also is an additional lot of wear and tear on our park that comes out of our general fund. And also, we need to be able to recoup something, you know, to help out with that fund because we are to the point to where we're maxed out on on those funds. And it gives us an opportunity to try to do a little bit of improvements down there when we recoup some money or we're able to. It's not just all wear and tear.
So we did mention this in the meeting the other day, and that I think we did raise our electrical fees up for people to plug in down there. And we did mention that we're going to take all the money that's made off of that, and that's gonna be donated back to the city. For whether it be the park or electrical or whatever it needs to be, it's just above and beyond basically, because, we're not providing electricity, you guys are providing electricity, so. It's kind of useless for us to collect money on it, of course, it goes into a general fund. But on the other hand, if it just goes back into your guys' that'll help with the little cost of the sprinkler system or anything else that involves the park.
Yeah.
My other concern here is that for every 1 day event, we've got the entire park blocked off for 3 whole days. So we can't have birthday parties, we can't have memorial services, all those things that our citizens use the park for all summer long. So we've got all of these weekends where we've gotten, it's not available for the citizens, but also we make a little bit of money off of that. Very minimal, but it's not available for that.
So I refer to days. What I'm basically saying for us, the chamber, is that it's that 1 day. We have to, for instance, we have to rent it for basically say for 3 days because we have to get this stage set up. We have to develop, make sure the electrical is all set and stuff there. But as far as my concern, that if the park is open until the day of the event and the cross beams comes up and up comes the fencing and stuff, the bridge fencing. To me, it seems like until the day of the event, it should be, at least at ours, open to the public. Cause being up on the state park or stuff, that's not gonna affect this. The only thing I would do with the check with it would be the sporting group that has the soccer and stuff like that to make sure that nothing's going on that time. If we start setting stuff up, but for the most part, all the parks, all that stuff should be available to everybody. Yes, baseball,
As far as like pavilions and the big inspired.
yeah, I look at the soccer field being cut off basically right there, and that's the whole area contained. Just the day of.
But that's not when we had this discussion,
Okay.
that's not what you told me at all.
Okay, no. Well,
You said entire park, 3 whole days.
okay, then I take it all we said what I said, because I didn't mean that basically the fact that we needed to be able to have set up to make sure stuff pulled in there. And I thought because of the 4th of July, because the 4th of July is going to be then we have this, because the 4th of July is not as big as these events. 4th of July is humongous when it comes to all the vendors lining all the way down the streets, all the way, all that stuff. I don't expect, I want it to be contained in that one area. And as for the day of the event, that it will be blocked off at the front gate over there, it'll be blocked off. And people are gonna either park it down and coming through to get their tickets and stuff, or they're buying tickets at 406 tips. I mean, it's not, sure, it's bring them in and they come in the door. That would be the day, I would completely take that out and say, no, everything else, it's just the day of the need to make sure it was blocked out.
Okay.
Sure, do you know what else is doing that? That over just street grind, you know what we're doing that again?
Yeah.
Yes, that's not like chamber.
No, I don't think.
Chambers events.
Yeah, I mean, for my own, I try.
To us, yes. I can't remember the date, I even considered printing the whole calendar, but I did not, but it does not, doesn't, like with any of the events that he has here.
In July.
Perhaps doing it in June, because the original date that he wanted was the date of a fall.
Oh, that's right.
So I think we bumped it earlier 1 week, I think it's second or third weekend in June.
Yeah.
Council, do you have any?
Last thing I'll say, and I agree with you, TJ, that yes, let's see what happens after the first, the local event. The next one is August, second at that point. And once the money comes in, the money's there, I don't have a problem paying the fees. Whatever, and the chamber comes down for that first one, yeah.
Okay. Council, do you have any more comments or questions?
No, they don't. Sounds good.
All right. Moving on to the wastewater project. Everything's still moving forward with that. Paula and I were on a call today with DEQ, ARPA, RPA, Montana Revolving Fund, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other people, but basically what they're doing is moving forward with processing our application for the difference in the funding of project for the wastewater project. And Paula owes them some information from our 2024 and 2025 budget, which she should be able to get to them by the end of the week. And that will help determine what level of loan forgiveness that we could possibly qualify for. Once we get all this information in, they'll make a determination of loan forgiveness. And then what we would do would go into our rate increase with that. We do have to have this pretty much shook out by March 28th, because that's the 60-day window of the bid being valid from the subcontractor. So we're moving pretty quickly on this. Hopefully, I think they said within maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks, and Paula, jump in if I misspoke there, that they should have a decision back on our loan and the level of forgiveness. We do have a lawyer with bond assurity that will help us navigate through the rate increase for public hearings, drafting that up, providing numbers and breakdowns so we can provide that to the public. So we do have some support there. It's not just on us to try to figure that all out. So, but we will, once we do make a commitment to the project, we're locked into having to do the rate increase is basically how that is. We would basically expend our ARPA money first, and then use the money from the loan to finish off the project, because we have to have that ARPA money spent by the end of the year. So, and right now, Chris has our project ending. If everything goes on track, we award and everything by November of 2025, being online, our project online. Paula,
Sounds
can I
good.
capture?
Yep.
Anyone have any questions on that? Moving on to DEQ permit fees.
Yeah, I just,
wanted to share those, invoices that came in with you guys. There's one for wastewater, which I expected, that's at 850, but we also have one for the Troy gravel pit. And that's $1,200.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't look like
Yep.
that's been an annual, at least I didn't see it last year.
It's probably new this year, Paula, because we went through the DEQ on getting our stormwater prevention plan put in place. And I'm assuming they did an inspection on it. So,
Okay,
yeah. Ward, do you know anything more about that?
No,
so that was why I just wanted to make sure you knew, and the, I got an email today for the inspections, right?
I got,
Two inspections.
there's, on the 14th, I just got that same email right at the end of the day today. But it's just the CEI, the compliance inspection on the sewer part, but this, we've never done one on the gravel pit, so like you say, I think this is a new thing.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'll come down Friday, Paul, and take a look at those documents.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Audit contract. I think everybody was copied on the email from Paula. Since we've been a little bit delinquent in getting our audits in on a regular time basis, we're no longer eligible to do a 2-year. We got to move into a 1-year audit cycle for the next 2 years. Correct, Paula?
Let's see.
I think
One
that's
year
what I.
audit for this one, well, definitely for this, for the 2024 year, it has to be a 1 year. We can't try to do 24 and 25 together. And
Okay.
then it just says future 2-year audits may be considered based on the performance, so. I guess if we can get it done. Maybe we can do 2 years after that, but. Be nice to be able to do them every year like we're supposed to.
Good job, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna look for somebody else. Nicole didn't seem very confident that she could do a 1-year audit.
Yeah, but I don't know, all we can get somebody else to do it.
I agree, but she didn't, sitting here, she didn't seem like she was going to be able to do a 1-year audit.
Yeah.
That would need to be done by June.
By June
Yeah.
30th,
Yeah, June
That's
30th
fine.
has to be done.
I'll call Nicole next week, Monday, Tuesday,
Okay.
and see what her capacity is and her feeling on this. And then I'll let everybody know. How's that sound?
Yes, sounds good.
Good.
Yeah, I
Every-
really,
I think we all have the same concern, so.
Yeah.
All right. Any public comments for matters not on the agenda?
I do, and I think. Jones does as well. I just wanted to let you guys know, I do have the resolution, ready for the annexation of Lucas and. How do you say your wife's name? Thank you. Tomorrow's place on 118 east of West Kalispell. So they have 100% of the. You know, the petition is 100% approved because it's the two of them is the only ones that impacts, so we should be right. MCA stuff, it was saying a resolution where they had at least 51% can just be a resolution and could go in effect as soon as it was voted on. I guess my next question would be, well, I guess I have 2 questions. One, they need to have this done for the sewer so that they can move in. So how long would it take to get the sewer part?
To just do a regular service.
Okay.
Do that a day.
Okay.
Just give it service.
Okay, all right. And then, could we possibly do a special meeting instead of waiting until 17th? The two questions.
I think we can. When are they wanting to move in by, Paula?
Yeah.
You're about that.
When would you want to do your special meeting?
First, I wonder if I'm in the okay. Yeah.
July.
TJ, when are you at?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, okay. Okay. Is it possible to do Thursday night? I'm just asking.
I can do it Thursday.
And the rest of the. What night? Thursday night? Yes.
How much time you done now?
I think we're 6:70, I believe.
6:15, 6:30,
No, we
6
start
o'clock. Jamie, are you working?
He starts at 6,
6 to 7 on Saturday.
so it would probably have to be like a 7:15 start for Jesse.
Yeah, definitely.
How would that affect you, Shauna?
I could come over and it'd be quick, so I can come over.
Okay.
Lucas has a comment.
Yeah, so tell them to come until next week anyway, around next week.
Okay.
It's not like it's,
Okay. Monday,
that'll be fine.
okay, would that work to do it on Monday? It's Monday then?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Monday the 10th.
Okay.
Okay. 6:30 work?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And
All right.
Monday, 6:30. That's what it feels like.
I know.
I'm just gonna make one every Monday at 6:30.
I know. Okay, I will send them out. Okay, that's what I have. Lucas, did you have anything else?
That's it.
No. Okay. Did you have something, Shauna?
No, I just.
Oh.
I have something.
Okay, Jesse.
Yeah, just, for full transparency, I'll have to know that, the Lincoln County Planning Commission has been informed of the subdivision consent, so. It will say limits to it. And so, you know, considering, laws against ex parte communication and such, I'm going to, be totally withdrawn from that process, from planning and permit side of things. And we're going to let our contract senior planner handle the entire process, present it to the council. So I'll be totally in the dark. I won't be at any of the meetings. And then I can participate as a council member. This is instructions. I like that. Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that now, in case people start hearing about this thing. I'll be hearing about it at the same time that you all are aware of it.
Nobody offered me anything to my land.
It's not public information as to what I'm aware.
Very rarely feels right.
Yeah.
I didn't go through this.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, got it.
That's that, what's that?
Anything else? All right, I'll ask to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Right.
Yes, I
Hey, Jesse.
For Jesse.
Jesse.
Oh.
Jesse.
I'm sure and I'm gonna be prepared on that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so tomorrow's gonna be okay. I'll be down.
Give me a quick
Oh, Sue, but she got